Welcome back to the channel, Warhammer Man back in the studio, and today we're looking at this week's pre-order announcement. If you're new to the channel, make sure to like and subscribe for Warhammer 40,000, Kill Team, Necromunda, Age of Sigmar, and Warcry content, as well as some occasional Horus Heresy and everything else tabletop gaming. So today we have the Sunday preview, Ghosts Fighting Gladiators, tons of thematic terrain. Next week sees a ton of incredible new terrain for Warhammer 40,000 and new battlebacks for Warhammer Age of Sigmar go on pre-order. Before we take a closer look at these and the rest of the new releases, let's check out the highlights. You can check out that video yourself, but we're just going to run through the actual items for sale. Next week will be a big week for fans of the letters A, O, and S, as the Arena of Shades battlebox for Warhammer Age of Sigmar goes on pre-order. So here we see the Arena of Shades new battle box, and looking good so far. We'll go through the rundown and then I will give you my opinion as well. This box includes two armies, the Spectral Nighthaunt and the Brutal Daughters of Khaine, along the selection of units that make an ideal starting army or reinforcements to an existing one. There are new models for both factions, the Scriptor Mortis and Craventhrone Guard for the Nighthaunt, and the High Gladiatrix for the Daughters of Khaine. And here we see the Scriptor Mortis and the High Gladiatrix, the two new character models available in this box set, both extremely nice looking models. And there are some various different changes you can make. A couple of small bits that you can swap out to give her a helmet, for instance. Along with the miniatures, the box includes tokens, War Scroll cards, and core rulebook containing the rules to need to play Warhammer Age of Sigmar. There's also a campaign booklet that features loads of narrative content and 3 battle plans to determine which of these armies will come out on top in the battle for Harlequins. And here we see the new crossbow archers, or crossbowmen, for Nighthaunt as well. Once again, very nice looking models. Obviously we have the standard bearer sort of leader here, and then 4 henchmen to go along with it. Some much needed range support for the Nighthaunt. Now they don't talk a lot about what else is in the kit, but we have done a full breakdown. If you haven't checked that out, highly recommend it. There are 5 of the existing cavalry models. Then we see 5 of the flying models with various builds for each. And then we have the 10 of the witches, which again can be built as either of 2 kits. And then we have the Gladiatrix here as well. And then for the Nighthaunt, we see the new 5 crossbowmen here. The new character as well. And then we see 3 of the Banshees. And we have a squad of 10 of the Ghost Bros with the swords, and then I believe there are 3 of these guys here with the big chains that they drag along with them. I don't quite see the 3rd one there. And then also we have the core rulebook. This is the mini softcover rulebook, but does contain everything that you need to play the game. Very nice, because this essentially turns this into a starter set. Also comes with tokens and measuring devices, and then obviously we see some decals as well, and then battle plan cards for all the units. So this is a nice set, because with including of the battle plan cards and the core rulebook, essentially all you need is some dice and you can play the game. So 2 new people could split this set, have nothing else Age of Sigmar, and just with a couple of things be able to actually play the game completely. So to me, very nice that they are doing that, especially for the new Sigmar sets. We did see the most recent set come out was Fury of the Deep, and that came out at $170. Since then, we have seen the price increase of roughly 12% on most things. So I think the $170 plus about 12% will put this at $200. So I do expect this set to be $200. Do I think that's a good deal? Well, with 44 models and the core rulebook, I do think compared to just buying, say, for instance, 2 individual start collecting boxes, I think you get a nice set here. So it's roughly 44 models, so roughly 22 each, not quite evenly split. I think for the quality and retail price of the stuff that's included in the box, you are getting quite a deal, as well as early access to the 2 character models and the crossbowmen, and then also included the book itself and the Arena of Shades, game and mission pack that comes with it as well. Only available in this set. And then finally, the battle plan cards are always nice to have and fun. So in my opinion, this is a great value and a great place to start for Age of Sigmar. And moving on down, next we see the Battlezone Fronteris Nachmund. Bring your games of Warhammer 40,000 to life with the new Fronteris Terrain. Not only are they cool and thematic, perfect for adding narrative flavor to your games, they are also suitably chunky to block line of sight. For match play games, grab this kit to make your games more tactical and tightly fought. My opinion on this set is it is very nice. We do see essentially 2 of these Fronteris pieces are included in the set. They were previously available, but other than that, everything else is new. So this is 2 of the identical building, just spun around backwards. Then we see this sort of fencing. 2 small little gates to go inside of the fencing itself. So you can kind of build like a cordoned off area. And then we see like the big communication or big antenna tower. Here's our communication kind of like antenna satellite. And then here we have a solid bunker. Overall, I really like this terrain. I think it's very nice. It adds to a set that already had some nice terrain, but was lacking a few centerpieces. It has some very cool stairs that go with it. You can pose this in various different ways, and then the buildings actually can be built so that you don't glue the thing together completely, so that each of these buildings can be separated into 2 large sort of diagonal half buildings. I highly recommend doing that. If you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, perhaps I will do a tutorial when this set is available. It's important to note also that this is on top of 2 actual boards. So there's 2 22 by 30 inch boards here displayed. So this is actually a 44 by 30 inch setup. Just to give you the scope of exactly how much terrain is on this board. Typically a kill team game will be played on the smaller board, just one of them. And same with our combat patrols. So this is a very large terrain set with a bunch of new pieces and very nice overall. While we're mentioning kill team, I do think this would be a cool set for kill team games. I think probably you could fit all of this on a single kill team board if you wanted to, but it would be rather crowded. Not necessarily a bad thing for kill team, but I think overall, if you had this set, you could break it down into either 2 kill team boards, or you could have 1 kill team board and leave a couple items off to have your perfect setup. So I do think this is completely viable for 1,000-point games of Warhammer 40,000, which is clearly what it's intended for. And that means that you could easily make a setup for kill team or for just a combat patrol game as well. This massive terrain box crams in 2 STC Hab bunkers, and that's the old kit, 6 stockades, which are essentially like the walls, 2 stockades with doors, that's what we discussed earlier, a landing pad, a Vox Antena, an Auspex shrine, and 2 Battlezone Fronteris Battlefield gaming boards. Whether you're looking to start a new terrain collection or add to an existing one, this kit is ideal. So this is the Battlezone Nachmund, which is the box set with everything contained inside. It is 2 separate battle boards, and they are double-sided. And again, they are 22 inches by 33 inches. And combined together can build the 1,000-point, basically battle, or it could be used individually for kill team games, or also combat patrol. And here we see everything that is included inside. Once again, a very nice set. Although this picture is misscaled right here, these are the exact same piece. One is just spun around backwards, so the optional wall is in the front here instead of in the back. It does look a little strange because this one in the picture looks to be taller, but it is in fact the exact same piece. For whatever reason, they just misscaled it. So here we see the barricades with the door setups on there. I'm not sure if you'll have the ability to build those doors open or closed. There are quite a few little view slots and then some opening areas as well. So it won't completely block line of sight. But overall it does a good job at it. The extra height on these is really nice for blocking line of sight, and they are big, chunky, blocks. And then obviously this blocks really good line of sight and provides multiple levels of interaction. This blocks good line of sight, but does not allow for that same level of interaction. And then finally the bunker, very nice as well. Nice chunky piece with a big footprint. Has some cool stairs to go along with it. And then we see a bunch of various little bits also on here. Now I'm not sure exactly how these bits interact with the set. I think these are the corner pieces. So ideally, okay, yeah, so they go on the inside of the corner or the outside of the corner. I think ideally, I'm not sure exactly how those go on there. Yeah, I'm not completely sure. I think ideally you would basically attach some of these to some of these permanently, so they're not falling off, or perhaps even magnetize them, depending on how viable that is, because you would want some of these on the inside and some on the outside, and then that would allow you for your various configurations without having so many pieces that they're like falling over while you're trying to play your games. Overall, very nice set. And then also we see the Battlezone Fronteris STC Hab Bunker and Stockade. So here we have one of the bunkers and then half of the walls. You know, actually, to tell you the truth, it looks like this has 2 of the door sprues and then 2 of the wall sprues. So that is interesting. Instead of just giving you 4, 1 door sprue and 3 wall sprues, it actually does have 2 of this and 2 of that. And then we have a couple of these and then 4 of the corner pieces as well. So yeah, that is rather interesting that they have chosen to go that route. So rather than just being 2 of this kit, that would be 1, that would be 1. And then we have obviously the other pieces in here as well. You actually, by buying this, you get 1 of this, 2 of this, and 2 of this. So if you bought 2 of these to try to build this and build it out of pieces instead of buying the big set, you would actually end up with 4 of these door sets. So that is just an interesting observation. I'm not sure if you would normally want more or less of them, but that is just something to note. And just scrolling down here, you can also get the kits from this box separately. First up, the STC Hab Bunker and Stockades kit. This bunker acts as an ideal headquarters for the stronghold, while new stockades can be assembled in multiple ways to create a perimeter that any enemy will struggle to break through. And then for the landing pad next, this is a very cool piece. I like it. You can't get a good angle at this, but the stairs on the back are very nice as well. I'm a big fan of those stairs. And then I like the tanks and the overall aesthetic of this. And then obviously anywhere you can paint some hazard stripes that looks good, definitely awesome. Continuing your expansion onto new worlds with the landing pad. It's a source of transportation for frontier space, helping to maintain the flow of supplies and reinforcements to the sharp edge of the Imperium. And then the Vox Antena and Auspex Shrine. So this is pretty interesting. Definitely a big fan of these pieces. Finish off your outposts with the Vox Antena and Auspex Shrine. These large structures act as vital communication nodes and make great objective to defend or destroy in your games. So this one obviously is very tall. Does add a little bit of interaction here on the second level, and then probably will have some special rules with this control panel here. And then just has a little bit of extra high line of sight blocking. This would be cool in a kill team game. Because this would still be heavy cover, and the majority of the kill team pieces available now don't have heavy cover on the second floor. They will just have like some basic cover like this. And then obviously this would be a nice piece of heavy cover and very cool and thematic as well. So a big fan of the overall aesthetic of these pieces, and I think they will blend very well not only with the existing Sector Frontier stuff, but with some of the new stuff as well. So again, we see all the individual components in this box set, and we know it is made up of 2 of these sets and then 1 of each of these sets. Now the way it is portrayed on here, I would imagine that these 3 pieces will be individual, but I'm not sure if these 2 are actually going to be bundled together in a set. Just the way it's sort of displayed right here, I would imagine they will come individually, but it's possible this will be a single set with these 2 pieces in it. I would imagine, just my guess, that if we look at the actual breakdown of this, I would imagine this is going to come in probably around... I don't know this is going to be all the way up at the $200 price point. I would put it probably closer to like the $150 price point, similar to the terrain set they made for Mechanicus that came out not that long ago. Now, since then, again, we have had price increases, so it may be closer to 200. So my guess is somewhere between 150 and 200. I will let you know as soon as I find out the official pricing in the next couple of days and post an updated video on that for all the individual components as well. That being said, what do I think the individual components will be? I would imagine they will probably be around $60 per set. So if this is 60, 120, 180, and then if we assume these are coming together, that would be $240. If not, maybe these will be 50, 50, 50, and that will be 150 and then 120. So it will be 270, and then they will price it at 200. That is just my guess and speculation, but we will obviously have to see. And then obviously the game boards are included with it as well, so they have to have some kind of value. Here's our Battlezone Fronteris Battlefield gaming boards. Set your games in an arid frontier setting with these moody new gaming boards. When put together, they make a battlefield that is perfect size for 1,000 point game or Warhammer 40,000. With more sets, you can create the sprawling battlefield of your dreams. And previously, when we saw this set come out with the two game boards, I want to say it was either $30 or $50. I can't actually remember. So that would put each gaming board at either $15 or $25, depending on which of those was correct. So if it was 30, I would say it's probably going to be 40 now. If it was 50 before, I would say it'll probably be 60 now. But again, I can't quite remember. So now here's an opportunity to get something for the first time or possibly the last time, depending on how you look at it. But a very limited release. Hot on the heels of the new Aeldari Codex and the stunning like of the Dark Reapers, the Avatar of Khaine, comes a selection of classic Aeldari kits available on a made-to-order basis. Autarchs are superlative strategists and martial experts who are ideal leaders for an Aeldari force, and their updated data sheet lets you field these miniatures in your games. So prior to the new Autarch kits coming out, these were the ones that were available. The other Autarch updated one with the wings came out a few years ago, and then obviously we have our brand new one as well that has come out. These are the old versions of those and will be available for made to order, limited time only. Farseers are master psychers able to unleash torrent of psychic attacks upon their enemies. Up until very recently, you could actually purchase these models still. These are very old school models. This one not so much, but this one is extremely old. And obviously having the opportunity to buy those for people that did not have it previously, this may be an opportunity to get something that you've never had offered before or possibly never even seen. These were originally in metal, so all of these models will be coming out, I imagine, in resin, sort of like the fine cast range. And finally, you can add to your Harlequins army with the classic Shadowseer, Death Jester, and Troupe. So we see here the Shadowseer and Death Jester models. Again, there are currently plastic versions of these that are slightly different, a little more dynamically posed, but similar nonetheless. This old Death Jester was obviously the precursor to the Moggenraw stance. I honestly like this Shadowseer better than the existing Shadowseer. And this Death Jester is okay, but I actually like the newer one better. He is like up perched on top of a piece of terrain, but crouched. So he still stands about the height that he would normally stand if he was just standing on a base instead. I do really like that Shadowseer though. While it's not quite as dynamic as the new one, I think overall it portrays it very nicely. Again, some good looking models there that you may not have ever had the opportunity to purchase. And then here we see the Harlequins. This was the previous iteration of the Harlequin models. They are pretty similar to the new ones. And again, have not been available for some time since the plastic kit for the Harlequins came out. And that was quite a while ago. I want to say a few years now. I mean, it's been a long time. So the made-to-order option for these, the opportunity to get some different poses to add into your existing army or new army that you're building. As while you can build different options from the new Harlequin kit and change out some of their weapons and everything, these guys actually will be completely different. than anything in the set. And I believe there are... One of them is a duplicate, I think. No, they are all individual. So this is basically 6 new models that you would have the opportunity to add to your line. So if you're going to have, 25, 30, 40 Harlequins in your box or in your army, you may want to pick up a couple of these just to give it a little diversity. They do look very, very cool. As far as pricing on these models, I would imagine that they'll come in line with the currently priced models. So I would think these will be like $28 to $32 for the Autarchs. I would think these will be around $32. Again, around $32. And then I would think these will probably be around $45. I don't quite know because they're made to order models. They may be slightly more or less expensive. But they're probably getting ready to retire the molds, at least temporarily. So they're giving you one last chance to basically get a hold of them, do a quick run of them, and then kind of put those up on the shelf for storage for a few years down the road. All these classic miniatures are a great way to add variety and character to your Aeldari army on the tabletop, and they also work as fascinating painting projects, and of course, it's an opportunity to add models you may have missed into your collection. It is worth note, if you've not dealt with Finecast before, it is rather different. The Finecast models break very easily. They come misshapen and misformed, require quite a bit of cleaning up. As far as like mold lines and various little issues with them, they are much worse quality in comparison to the actual like plastic miniatures that are available now. So for Auronautica Imperialis, we see the Hemlock Wraithfighters. 2 new Asuryani aircraft swoop in the Auronautica Imperialis on Friday in the shape of the Hemlock Wraithfighter and Nightshade Interceptors. Piloted by a Spiritseer, the Wraithfighter is lethal, short and medium range, making light work of enemy aircraft with its heavy D-sight. Nice looking models. It appears they'll be available in groups of 2. Even faster than the Hemlock Wraithfighter and just as maneuverable, the Nightshade Interceptor can put itself pretty much anywhere in the area of engagement range, shooting down targets with twin bright lances. Both fighters come in squadrons of 2 aircraft and are available for pre-order from Forge World website from Friday. So interesting, these will actually be Forge World models. They're not that big, but nonetheless, Forge World it is. So Black Library, we have the Siege of Terra Warhawk. Very cool art on the cover there. Appears to be Jagadi Khan and Mortarion getting ready to do battle. Some White Scars and Death Guard. The Siege of Terra series continues with Book 6, Warhawk, coming to paperback. The traders have captured the Lionsgate spaceport to Jagadi Khan rides out to face his brother Mortarion and his destiny in a battle that could decide the fate of the entire siege. So we have seen the paperback books coming out anywhere between like $16 and $19. Caiaphas Kane, The Last Ditch. Legendary Commissar Caiaphas Kane returns to action in MP3 release. Interesting. Fights the almost numberless orc hordes on a frozen planet, but something even more deadly stirs beneath the melting ice. An official licensed product. Fans of the grim darkness of the far future and hot drinks can also get 3 new Warhammer 40k themed mugs this week. There's one for the fans of the Blood Angels, one featuring an Ultramarine Intercessor and Imhotep the Stormlord. And a heat-changing one where a battle scene appears as it gets warmer. And a heat-changing one where the battle scene appears as it gets warmer. Interesting. So, okay, I see. So here we have the Blood Angels one. It looks like the Space Marine, Ultramarines, the Imhotep Stormlord, and then this is probably the battle scene taking place. We have a Chaos and regular Marine fighting. The reason I say that is because you can kind of see the blue inside of there. I have no idea how much mugs will cost. And this week on Warhammer Plus, a new episode of Lore Master, Citadel Color Masterclass for Avatar of Cain. and a third and final episode of The Exodite on the 6th of April. So there we have it. That is everything. Very, very cool. Obviously some nice looking stuff coming out this week. I am very excited for the terrain. I think that's absolutely great and will be awesome for Kill Team. And then, of course, these are some cool classic models. Maybe your first or last chance to pick them up, depending on when you got into the game. So definitely worth consideration. This model definitely looking sort of dated, but I believe he was from the early 90s, so not surprising. Not surprising at all. The rest of the stuff looks a little more up to date, but again is very old models. So definitely looking forward to picking up this terrain. The Battlezone Fronteris stuff already had a nice aesthetic to it, but it was missing a couple of like large pieces to kind of finish it off. There is some various like scatter terrain stuff that was available previously. Obviously that is not in this kit. It was basically pieces of the wall kind of broken and busted with some extra little aesthetics in there. So that will go really nice with this set overall. So looking forward to this. And again, I will be up to date with the prices. And then, of course, the new Battlebox. We've been waiting for this for quite some time now. Arena of Shades, basically gladiatorial combat. And a cool new way to get into Age of Sigmar, as it does include the core rulebook, the battle plan cards with all these stats and rules that you need to play. And then obviously cool to have the tokens, a bunch of like little mission books, and then even some little rulers as well. So if I'm not mistaken, the only thing you would be missing to actually play this game would be some space to actually set it up and play on, possibly some terrain, and then some dice. And you would be all ready to go without even having the codexes initially or battle tomes for this armies. So while I do think this will be the first victim of the new price hikes as far as the Age of Sigmar boxes, at $200, I think this is still a really nice set for splitting with a friend. And with 44 models, you definitely feel like you are getting your value worth, as opposed to, say, for instance, the most recent Warhammer 40,000 sort of like battle box, which was 16 models and no rulebook. This is coming with quite a bit more value inside, in my opinion. So, and if we did add up the individual value of these kits, obviously we can't tell the value of these because they're not out yet, or the two characters. It's very clear that there is quite a bit more than retail value of 100. As each of these three kits is for the Daughters of Khaine is around $60. So that is about $180, and then the characters are around $30. So you're looking at about $210 in Daughters of Khaine right off the bat. And then for Nighthaunt, I think it's closer to 50, 60, 110, about 140. Probably around 50 for them, 190, so about 220. So I think retail value, not even giving any value to the core rulebook, retail value on this is, I think, close to like $400. So maybe it will be even more than $200. We did see with the recent price hike that the Eldritch Omens box went to $210, so perhaps this will come in closer to that. I hope they don't get overboard with this, but again, I will be up to date with the new prices. Let me know what you are most excited about for this week's releases. Did I make any mistakes or anything I left out? Please let me know down below in a nice way. I do appreciate all you guys, and I love the interactions in the comments. And also, based on YouTube analytics, I've noticed that a very, very large majority of you guys actually watch just about every one of my videos, or at least the weekly ones. So even if you don't want to get spammed with Warhammer or content every single day, because I do release at least one video every day, I do highly recommend that you go ahead and subscribe, even if you don't hit the notification button. And I also appreciate if you leave a comment, anything down below, your opinion or whatever, as it does help out and give me exposure for the videos. And then, of course, hit that like button if you enjoy the content as well. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up there. We'll be back with another video tomorrow. I have some very nice commissions that we're finishing up, and we're going to be showing those off as they do go out of the studio. Some very happy customers, I'm sure, as we do get those out the door. We are obviously a commission-based studio and show off all the commissions as they're finished, but we also do all types of painting and modeling tutorials, magnetizations, lightings, etc. And then, of course, all kinds of reactions, reviews, and unboxing. So with the recent releases, quite a bit of content coming down the pipe. Not only just the news and reviews, but some unboxings, some tutorials for magnetizing, say, the avatar and painting, quite a few other things as well. So make sure you stay tuned and, do become a member of the channel. It's an absolutely free way to show your support, and that way you'll always be up to date with your Warhammer 40,000, Kill Team, Necromunda, Age of Sigmar, Warcry, and of course occasional Horus Heresy and some other tabletop wargaming content as well. That being said, I'm Warhammer Man, this is Warhammer Man Studios, and I'm out of here.